there are several ways to deal with the time and dates. And we will talk about two important modules that are available in Python to handle date and time. First is the time module that we will talk about, and the second is the date time module that we will talk about to handle date and time in different ways. Terminology, like one very important term for you to understand is the concept of a tick. What is tick? So I'll write the definition of tick over here. Please try to understand what do we mean by tick. Tick is the time elapsed in seconds since 12 a.m. January 1, 1970. We'll understand this tick. What is the meaning of time elapsed in seconds since 12 a.m. January 1, 1970. But let's first try to print the value of a tick. So for that, you need to import time module first. Import time, and then I'll simply x is equal to time dot time. So this time function is returning me the value of ticks, and if I print ticks over here, then you will see we are getting this as the answer. So this is a very long value, very big number. So what this number is representing, you need to understand that this is ticks. That means to say time elapsed in seconds since 12 a.m. January 1, 1970. Means since this time, since January 1st, 1970, 12 a.m. to till this moment of time, these many of seconds have elapsed. If I run it again, you will say some differences in seconds. See, this is 91.37, but now it will say 27 points. So every moment, every millisecond, ticks are changing, and this function time dot time is returning you that ticks value. So although this is very useful module in Python, but it has certain limitations also, like you cannot specify a time that is less than 9070. For example, if you want to represent year 9060 or 9040, you cannot represent that previous time. And similarly, if you want to specify a time greater than 2038, that will also not be possible for you, because this goes somewhere up to 2038, because ultimately certain variables are being used to hold this value. So time since 12 a.m. January 1, 1970 to somewhere around 2030. So that time is being returned by this module in the form of ticks. So I hope that this concept of ticks is clear to you. Simply make a call to time dot time function. Time function will return you the value of ticks, which is a very big number, and this number is representing the time elapsed, the time that has passed in seconds since 12 a.m. January 1, 1970. Now, see, this information, this value of ticks may not be of useful to us in the sense that it is not in a proper date and time format. So we can use one function. That function is local time. What this function will do, this will convert time instance from seconds to time tuple. So what it is doing, it is converting time given in seconds to time tuple. What do I mean by that? Let's run this function like this. Local time on my machine is, let's say, time dot local time, and I'll pass the value of ticks. Ticks I have already defined. Ticks variable has the value. So if I write time dot local time, so you'll see, let me print local time as well. So you see, it has returned this value. See what this function has done, it has converted those seconds elapsed since January 1, 1970 to a time tuple. So time tuple has these members. So it has converted this time, this ticks seconds, into time tuple in this variable local time, And what these ticks actually means that today the year is 2020, month is 6, that is June, and day is 12. Time at present is 12:33, these many seconds, and week of the day is 4th. So if you say, see, today is okay Friday, so Monday is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4th day of the week. This is returned, and okay, in total there are 365 days in a year, and today is 164th day, and this time DST is 0. So DST basically is day saving time. So there is a separate concept regarding that. What is day saving time? So this is an annual rate, and try to explore what do we mean by DST. What is day saving? So you also mean time, but the question is converted the time into time tuple. Again, that another function and time function. What this time function will do, it will format the time in a human readable format. So like if I say print time dot ASC time and that local time, if I run, see, it has displayed the date and time in a very nice format. Today is Friday, June 12th, and this is the time. Now why it is taking time 12:33, whereas in my terminal the time is actually 12:38? Because you obtained the value ticks at that time when it was 12:33. So that value got stored in ticks, and now when we are running the code, okay, the system is picking that very value of ticks only. But again, if I run the all these code again, let's say this and this, now you'll say it has changed the value. Now it is not 12:33 or something, it's exactly 12:38. So I hope that this concept is clear to you, that how we can obtain ticks, how we can convert those ticks values to a time tuple, and then how that time tuple can be converted to a human readable format. Now there are certain more valuable functions, like one I will demonstrate, the time.gm time function. So this function accepts an instance expressed in seconds, that is the input would be the time in seconds, and it will return a time tuple. How? Let's try to use this function. If I write print time dot gm time and the text, it is returning a time tuple like this. Okay, we can our own time with the help of time dot mk time function also. So how is that? Let me give you a demonstration for that. Let's say we are capturing current time is equal to time dot local time dot time like this, and if I say print current time, okay, this will return the tuple. But if I want to convert this time tuple back to the ticks, then I will say current ticks is equal to time dot make time. So it will make time in ticks. So I'll pass this variable current time to this variable current time, and I'll print c underscore ticks, and it will display the ticks. So now we demonstrated how ticks can be converted into time tuple, and how time tuple, like this current time was the time tuple, how time tuple can be converted back into ticks. So ticks to time tuple to ticks. So these things must be clear to use. Other usable and important functions pertaining to date and time are this string format time function. So this is used extensively. So what this function does is it formats your time according to the directives that you will specify, and its syntax for usage is like this. You will call strf time function and you will pass it the format and the time. Now this format needs to be given in a specific way, in a particular way, and in order to specify that format we have certain format directives. Now I will write those directives. You can also make a note of that if you are using percentage a in the format string, then that will mean the weekday. This is weekdays name. Similarly, if you are writing percentage capital A, then that will mean full weekday name. Your percentage B will mean month name, but in abbreviation format. So this will be in abbreviation format. So you need to remember these format directives, because when you are dealing with the strf string format time, so these are extensively used. So like these must be on your tips also. Percentage B is full month name. Similarly, percentage this B is the day of the month, and percentage M is going to be the month. Percentage Y is going to be the year. So there is a big list of these directives. So I have just written the important ones, but in your practice session, okay, you explore the Google sites, you see the different format directives, so you will get an idea how a time can be formatted according to these format directives. But let's try to use this function first. So what I will do, I will make a call to this function like this. Let's say s is equal to time dot string format time. Now I'm making a call to this function. Now as per the syntax, first we need to specify the format, and let's say we are using this format percentage B. So what the percentage B is, basically the full month name we must be able to get. Then percentage D, let's say percentage D is the day, then percentage capital Y. So small y is year, last two digits of the year, but if you are using this capital Y, then all the 4 digits of the year will be returned. Then let's use percentage I. I have not mentioned it over here, but it will try to display the time in 12 hours or 24 hours format. Then percentage M colon percentage S. So these capital M and S stands for minutes and second. Small percentage P means whether you want to display AM or PM related information with this or not. So in order to create that format, you must have the knowledge of these formatted directives. If you don't know about the format directives, you cannot specify the format for conversion of time to the string. And next comma, we need to pass the time, and in our case that time is, again we will pick the local time dot local time dot time. So again we are converting those ticks into the local time, that is returning us the time tuple. So this is basically time tuple that we are passing, and the format is getting created like that. So if I print the value of S now, so you'll see the crunch time the system has fetched and represented that time in this format. So capital B, full month name June. This percentage D has resulted in 12. This percentage Y has resulted in this 2020. let's say I'm using small y. If with small y I make a call to this, now you see that 2020 has been reduced to 2020, just last 2 digits of the year. Then this percentage I to display time in 12 hours, 24 hours format. This M is minutes, this S is second, and this percentage tells whether this is PM or AM value. So this is how this string format time function can be used by you. Next, we can make our own time also. So we will demonstrate making and displaying on time date. So for that, what we can do is we can write time. Time we have already, okay, let's say t. We want to create t is equal to so there is a specific format that first you mention the year value and let the year value be 1979 or 1980. Then we can specify the month and let the month be 11 and the day be 10 and the time be 12, let's say, hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, and the rest of the values we can specify as. So total basically, this tuple value is has 9 members, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have created it time. So time tuple can be, treated like this. T is equal to time dot mk time. So this is that function, mk time, make time. So if we pass this function this time, and then now if I display the time like this, print time dot strf time. So again I am making a call to this function. So rather than using this line, let's copy the line from here, Control C and paste over here, and rather than passing this time dot local time, okay, we'll delete this. We will pass this t. No, actually we need to make that time also. So it would be time dot time t. So see, it has created a date, basically date time tuple. So we mentioned the date and time like this. This is the year, this is the month, this is the day. So this is basically 10th, 11th is November 1980. So this is 10th November 80. So if you make it capital Y over here, it will give you the full year name 1980, and this is the time. So time here that I am getting is 6:30 because it has created that use that GMT value plus 5:30. So using that we are getting this. So I need to make certain changes in my system time if I want to display the correct result. But this is just a demonstration of the make time, how you can make and display your own time. So this was the time module. Second important module for us to understand is the calendar module. So what the calendar module can do for us, let's experiment with that. So for that, what we will do, I will say import calendar, and let's say C is equal to calendar dot month. So 2020, 6, and let's display. See, so what we are doing, we have imported calendar, we have made a call to calendar dot month. So we basically intend to create the calendar for the month of June of year 2020. So year month. So for June 2020, I need the calendar, and if I try to display C, you'll see, it will, display the result like this. So what is this? This is basically the calendar for the month of, or I can directly, use this statement. And actually, it must give us a nice, format. So, it will, display the calendar like this, because otherwise if you will capture it, then it is captured like a object string. So let me remove these statements. If I simply print calendar dot month, then it will print the calendar like in this format. Similarly, if I need the calendar for the month of December, so December 2020 month would be displayed like this. But if you need to print the calendar for the whole year, so then you can use the statement like this: print calendar dot calendar, let's say 2020. And now if I hit the enter, you see for the entire 2020 year, this calendar is printed. If you say 1980, then for the year 1980, this calendar will get printed. For current year, it is like this. So I hope that the utility of this calendar module, you can display the calendar for a month or for the whole year also. Very important module. Then we have certain calendar related functions. We'll quickly go through those functions. For example, if I say print calendar dot first weekday, then it will display the first weekday. So 0 basically means the means Monday. So that means the system has set 0 as the value for Monday, the first weekday. Other important functions are like print calendar dot is leap. You can check whether a year is a leap year or not. So if I say 2020, then system will say true. Yes, 2020 is a leap year. And what about next year, 2021? Okay, the system will say this is false. So is leap year simple function to check whether a year is a leap year or not. Next can be print calendar dot leap days. How many leap days have been passed between 2 year values? So just pass 1900 and 2000 leap days. So what kind of output it will result? 24. So that means to say there were 24 days, 24 leap days between these 2 years, 1990, 1900 and 2000. Yes. Then if you want to change, like previously we displayed the first weekday, but if you intend to change the first weekday to some other number, then you can set that using this set first weekday method. So we will simply make a call to that function like this: calendar dot set first weekday to 0. So it will set the first weekday to 0. If I say 1, then it will set it to 1. So now if I execute this statement, you'll see, okay, now it has displayed the value of 1. If you set it to 0 and then make a call to first weekday, system will say it is 0, Monday. But if you want to set it some other day, 1, which is Tuesday, and execute it like this, then it will say now the set day is 0. So this is how you can, change the first weekday. Now consider one more example. Okay, if I write print calendar dot weekday 2020 11 or 12, let's say today's day, this is 12th June 2020, then it will return 4. So as I already mentioned, our first weekday is set to 0, and if I count with respect to that, they say it is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it is returning that 4th weekday for us. So these were the things, with the time module. And we also talked about the calendar module. So this is one way of, handling the date and time. Okay. So what we have talked about is the time module, and we have also talked about the calendar module, with the help of which you can, display the calendar of a particular month or for the whole year, and you can, call certain functions regarding leap year, check the number of leap days between the 2 years, or leap years between 2 years. So these kinds of things, you can do with these two modules. But the basic thing about these two modules was that you are dealing with ticks. So although it is, good to deal with tick because certain, calculations can be performed very fast, but the disadvantage was that you cannot, represent a time, which is less than 1970, and you cannot go beyond this time 2038. And the two important functions that are frequently used are this string format time, and there is one more function, string free time, string parsing time also, that also I will demonstrate. So in that case, what we will do, let's have the demonstration of strp time function. See, it is different from strf time function. So here we are converting in string format time, we are converting the time table into a particular string format. But in string parse time, we would be converting a string into the time tuple format. So how these two functions are different, we will see with the help of a demonstration. String format time we have already discussed, but how string parse time can be used. So let's see this example. Let's say struct time is equal to time dot StringParse time, and let's say 10th November 1978, comma percentage D, percentage B, percentage Y. So you see the syntax for the usage of this very function is you write string parse time, and then you pass the string and the format. Now it is your responsibility that format needs to be specified in the same way in which you have mentioned the date in the string. Like here 10 actually means this is the day. So it is your responsibility to specify the correct format, that this is percentage D, and if you see that percentage D directive is actually representing this day. Then next directive is percentage B. Percentage B basically represents the month, the abbreviation of month. So we have correctly specified that number. But if you write 11 over here, then that is not small b. You need to then use percentage M or the corresponding, the format specified. But because we have used a small b, so we have to, use the, correct, formatting. We have to, mention NOV itself in the string. Then percentage y is, full year. Okay, again, we are specifying all the digits of the year. And with this, now try to print the value of struct time, and you will see that it has resulted, this date has been converted into a timetable. So why we need a timetable? Because initially we saw how timetable can be converted into ticks and how ticks can be converted into timetable, because this is the basic characteristic of this time module. It primarily it actually is dealing with the time structure kind of things, or a time tuple, which is basically 9 numbers tuple. So the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and 9 element structure: year, month, day, hour, minute, second, weekday. Then these are some year of the day of the year, and some BST value, which I have already told you to explore when you find some free time. So these were the things about the time module and the day calendar module. Now we will talk a more powerful module, that is the date time module. So let's start the discussion on date time then. Date time. So now we will see what this date time can do for us. Now, in order to use this datetime module, first you need to import the datetime module. So for that, we would be writing from datetime import datetime. So let's first check whether we have this module. Yes, from datetime import datetime, we have this module. Now, what is the difference between the time module and datetime module? See, in time module, you are dealing with time structure kind of things, which is then 9 members kind of elements. But here now you are dealing with the objects. You are dealing with the date time objects. So we already understood what is object oriented programming, what is class, what is objects. So now you are dealing with those objects. That means to say now those objects would be having certain properties, attributes, methods, functions, and if you see the documentation of this datetime class, you will come across all those attributes or the properties or the methods or the functions that you can use with the datetime objects. So from here now again our object oriented concepts are coming into picture. Why? Because datetime is a class, and what we would be creating now are the datetime objects. So let's create our first datetime object. So I'll intentionally then name it as date time object. So why I'm saying object? Because this datetime class return the datetime objects to deal with the date and time aspects. So I'll simply say date time dot now, and let's try to print the datetime object. What it displays: print date time obj, and you'll see there is some problem. Not defined. Okay. So see, we have created a datetime object by making a call to datetime.now, and when we display its value, it will display the things like this: that today is 12th June 2020, and this is the current time, and this is the milliseconds. So 13.5, actually it is 13.6 because we actually made a call at 13.515, so it is displaying that time. There is one more function. If I say time dot today, if I run the code now, you see you are using the exactly same values, because now was called earlier and today afterwards. So there is a small difference in terms of milliseconds between these two dates, but otherwise these two functions are almost same. Either you can use now or you can use today. In both the cases, you are getting the object that you can process later on. Now, how you can be sure that a datetime is an object? So if you recall, if you remember in the object-oriented class, we check the type of an object. So if I make a call to the type function like this, if I say print, what is the type of this date time object, then the system will say, yes, this is a class. This datetime object is an object and it belongs to this class. The name of the class is datetime.datetime. So this verifies, yes, what we are obtaining from datetime.now is an object, and because this is an object, you can have access to all the methods and properties of the class datetime, and you can see the official documentation of datetime class that what kind of methods properties are available with this object. Now we will see how we can create datetime objects from a string. So this is the topic that we take now, creating datetime object from string. Basically, see here you have just obtained the current time by making a call to now and the today function. You have got the object, but in that object it is today's current time basically. But if you want to create an object from an arbitrary time or the time value that you have specified in a string variable, so for that you can use this function StringParse Time. Although I have already demonstrated its use, but how you can use it with a datetime object. So now we will look about that. So let's have a date string first, because we are trying to convert that string into datetime object. So let our date string be let's say 2020 06 12, and let's say 10 10 10. So I have actually specified a date which is 12th June 2020, and our minute second randomly I have chosen to be 10 10 10. Now our interest is in creating the date object, and let that date object be, let's say, date obj, date object. So how that can be converted? So we will say date time will make a call to the string parse time function which is specified in date time. So I will be saying date time dot string parse time, because now our intention is to convert the string into date object. So first we'll have to pass our date string, this string. So I'll copy the name from here. This is going to be the first parameter, datetime string. Now you will mention the format, in what format your string contains the date value. So because first we have specified the years, full years, so I'll have to mention percentage y. Then I have used the hyphen figure, so it will be hyphen, then percentage small m, because I have not used abbreviation for the month, I have used a number. So for that the directive is small percentage m, and then again there is a hyphen in the string, then percentage d. So this is very important for you to understand, that you need to specify the format exactly in the way in which you have stored the date in the string. So here we have the space, so I will mention space over here, and after that, because these are the hours, minutes and time values, so I would be using percentage h hyphen percentage m and hyphen percentage s, format like this. Now, if I say I want to print this date object, let's see what happens. So you see, yes. Now the same time, date time that you mentioned in a string. Now it has been converted into an object. And you must appreciate the advantages of converting your date, which is in string format, into date object, because with the date objects you have access to several methods, functions, properties of this class, which may be beneficial to you in the longer run. So it is always a good idea to deal with the datetime object. But again, here also we can check whether this date object is actually an object or it is another string. So let's check its type here also. So if I write print type date object, then what the system will say, yes, that's this date object about which you are getting this value, that today's 12th June. This is not a simple string. This is a class. This is a class belonging to this date time. So we'll see the reverse aspect also, that how we can convert a date time object to string. So this aspect we will take now. Date time object to string. Here we handled a different aspect. We converted string into date time. So please see the difference. String t time, we are converting string to date time. String format, we would be converting an object, a date time object, into a string. So how we can demonstrate that? Let's say date value, but which is in string format, is equal to date time dot string format time. Here we use StringParse time. Now we are using string format time, and what we will pass is this date object that we have obtained previously. Because what we are doing, we are converting date object back to the string. So first argument is going to be the date object, comma. Then you can also mention what is the format you want. So let's have the same format. Or what we can change, let's say we will keep day first, then month, and then year. So let's make this little change. And now if I print date value string, you'll see, okay, now this object, date object, it was clear that this was a date object. Now this has been converted into a string. You can verify with the type of this variable also, like print, if I write type, what is the type of this date value string now? System will say this is a string. So see, earlier you obtained date time. You obtained date time from string. Now what we did, we obtained string back from the date time object. So this is the date type object that you created previously. Now we passed it to the string format function, and this function will give us the string back. So these two are very, very important functions, converting your string to date time object and from date type object to string. So one is a string parse time function, another is a string format type function. So you must pay attention to these two functions at least, because these are going to be very useful for you. Now, I always said that it is always better to go ahead with the datetime object. Why? Because you have access to certain properties and methods of this class. So let's demonstrate what kind of properties this datetime object has and what we can do with that. So if I write these kind of statements, so our object datetime object was this datetime object. I'll copy it from here and I'll write print time date type object dot year. Automatically it will give me the year value 2020, because these are the properties associated with it. If I say month, so it is going to give me the month. But if you want to have this month value in a specific way, then you can also write string object dot str f time. So we are using this function string format time. This value will convert to a specific format, and we will say that we want to convert this value into let's say the format is going to be percentage %b, because we want to display the full the abbreviated month name. And now if I run, so it is giving me the June. So all these things are accessible. You have access to so many functions. Why? Because this date object is a object of the class date time. So similarly, if you mention percentage a, so it will give you the Friday, the full day. If you say percentage h, it is going to give you the hour figures. So if you mention it like percentage d, percentage let's say slash percentage m slash percentage y, see what it displays, 12/6/2020. So this is the format that we Indian traditional we Indian use mostly, 12/06/2020. And alongside, if you want to display the hour, minute, and the second also, okay, you can copy the format from here, and you can. It is better if we separate them by column, and this is how you can convert strings into datetime object and datetime object back into strings, and the string can be given a particular format also. So I hope this thing is fine. Now, very important topic concept is date arithmetic. Like if you want to subtract two dates, you want to find the difference between two dates in terms of number of days or things like that. So here the date arithmetic comes into picture, and now we will see how we can perform date arithmetic. So we will discuss it with certain examples. Let's make the current date time object. Let's say this is date time today equal to date time dot now. So what this object is going to give you is the current date and time. Date time today is date time dot now. If I say print today's date is date time today, it is it will display today's date. Now let's say I want to increment or decrement this date. I want to add certain days to this date, or I want to subtract certain weeks from this date. Then how you can accomplish that, because that is the subject matter of date arithmetic. Now here we are bringing one more class into picture, and that is the time delta. What is time delta? So time delta is the duration of the time. Like it can be certain days, certain weeks, certain years, certain hours, milliseconds. So all these things represents the time delta. Now, if you want to do arithmetic, date arithmetic, so first you create a time delta kind of object. So those can be subtracted from this date time object. How? Let's see. We can do this. And what we will be doing, we will be adding 5 days to the current date. So for that, we need to create the time delta object first. So what I will do is let's say date after 5 days is equal to this variable date time today plus time delta, and because I want to increment the current date with 5 days, so I will say days is equal to 5. And now if I print this variable date after 5 days, So we need to import all the library of this date time. So I would be doing from date time import star. Now if I run, see, I've got a new date. Today is 12th June 2020, and this date object has been incremented now with 5 days. So 12 plus 5, 17. So date after 5 days is 17th June 2020. So this was the example of simple arithmetic. If I, rather than using days, if I say days is equal to -5. So this is going to be the date, you know, before 5 days. And if I want to, you know, increment or decrement in terms of weeks, let's say week is equal to 20. So what this will mean now, that we are, you know, determining a date after 20 weeks. So after 20 weeks, this is going to be the date. You can decrement the weeks also from the date value. Like if I say weeks is equal to -20, then this would be the date, you know, 20 weeks before. So this is how, you know, you can do date arithmetic with the date time object. It's very easy. So again, in the next session in which you would be doing practical work, try to explore this thing more, time delta. So try to give, you know, time in hours, minutes, add hour, subtract hours, add minutes, subtract minutes. Similarly, days, years, months. So any duration you can add to the current time and you can subtract from the current time. So you see, this is a very powerful concept. So that date arithmetic is really very, you know, easy with you know, this module, date time module, because any amount, any duration that can be, you know, second, millisecond, hour, minutes, year, week, anything can be added or subtracted just by making a call to this, you know, time delta like this. Next, we will see how we can, you know, find the difference between two dates. Find the difference between two dates. So let's create two date objects first. Date one, we can have it like this: date time, let's say 2020, 1st January, hour, minute, second. Randomly, I can take, you know, 0012. Date two, I can, you know, mention as date time 2020, 6/12. Today's date 12th June 2020, and random time, let's say 0048. And if I say date difference is equal to date 2 minus date 1, and if I print this value, date difference, what will be displayed? See, it is 163 days. So that means today actually is 163rd day of the year. Since for the 1st January 2020 to 2 days, so 163 days have passed. But if I say this is 2026 1 to 2026 12, then it will say, you know, 11 days have passed since these 2 dates. 1st of June to 12th of June, the day difference is that in terms of days is 11 days. But if you want those, you know, differences in terms of seconds, then you can also, you know, write the print statement like this: print date difference dot seconds. So this is the second figure basically. So the total time difference is 11 days. These 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 36 seconds. And date difference dot difference, because this is also an object. So dot second will just give you the second figures. So you can also verify the type of this date difference, you know, object, what kind this date difference is. So if I say print type date difference, then you'll see this date difference actually is a object class. Which class? Date time dot time delta. So the difference is being returned to you in the form of time delta object. And where we use the time delta object earlier, here in this code, when we added a time duration to the current date or any date, or when we subtracted any duration from any date, so their time delta object is used. And if you are finding the difference between two dates also, there also you are getting the time delta object. And you can call its days function or its second functions. For example, if I write it like time difference dot days, it will display days. In seconds, it will display seconds. So see, if you're simply displaying date difference, it is giving you full difference: 11 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 36 seconds. Dot days is returning the days value from this figure, because ultimately your interest may be in obtaining that number. This date difference is an object. So if you want to obtain the days figure, make a call to this member function date difference dot days. Seconds will give you the second figure, which is 36, because 36 in this case. Okay. So this was a very simple demonstration, like how we can calculate the difference between 2 days in terms of So once you obtain these values, you can go further. If you divide it by 24 or 60 or 36, what will happen? How then you can come across calculate the different values, like the difference in terms of seconds, the difference in terms of months can also be calculated if you do certain kind of calculations. Now we will talk about comparing two dates. How date values can be compared. Okay, we will pick these two dates only. Date one is this, and date two is this. So this can be compared using the simple those relational operator. Let me demonstrate. If I write print date 1 is greater than date 2, so it will say false. No, date 1 is not greater than. See how simple the comparison is. Just like you compare other integer values like print whether 1 is greater than 2, the system will say no, false. This comparison has been done. In the similar way, these date comparisons can be directly done with the help of a relational operator. Because the first date is 1st June, this is 12th June. Obviously, date 1 is not greater than date. But what if we display print whether date 2 is greater than date 1? Then system will say true. Yes. So these types of date comparison can be made directly inside the if statement. You can use it with the for loop also, or anywhere where you want to specify the condition. And if I say print date 1 whether date 1 is equal to date 2, it will say false. Yes, date 1 is not equal to date 2, and you can assign this date object to a new date object also. Like if I say date 3 is equal to date 1, and now if I print date 3, so you'll see this date 3 has obtained a value from date 1, which was this thing 1st of June, 0 hour 0 minutes and 12 seconds. So see, like normal variables, you can treat these datetime objects. You can assign one date object to another date object. You can compare them, and things like that. And this time delta is very, very powerful concept. Any duration which you can mention in hours, minutes, seconds, time, weeks, years, days, that can be subtracted or added to any time. And I think if you have this functionality, if you can create your own date and time, and if you can add or subtract any duration from that date and time, I think you get almost all the functionality. So this is how you can make use of the 3 different modules of Python regarding your date and time manipulation. So we talked about these 3 things. We talked about the time module, we talked about the calendar module, and we talked about the date time module. So we have talked about the basic functionality of all these 3 modules. So with this, I end the discussion because in the first session, Dr. Puneet Jacob has announced that we have to reserve the last 30 minutes for the question answering session, for the doubt clearance session. So it is exactly 1:31 now. So we have exactly 30 minutes to discuss your doubt. So the session is my presentation is done now. I'm done with my presentation, and now you can pose your questions. Now you can write your queries in the chat box. We'll look at that. Well, in the previous, session, Saket, came up with one problem. And Saket, are you in this meeting now? Because I have received your email. I have downloaded the code that you, yes, I have downloaded the code that you sent me via email. And I have copied it in this worksheet. I think this is the code that you have written. Can you see this screen? Can you see your code, Saket? So Saket was mentioning the problem with this code. So well, all can participate. Let's try to understand the code that the Saket has, written. And when we run this code, it is showing us certain errors. So what can be this problem? Okay, Saket, let me understand your code first. First, you have created a cement class, then number of bags. Now, Saket, see, one mistake, not mistake actually, but it's not a good programming practice. You must not hard code the values like this in the init function. See, if you are passing a number of bags, you should write, number of bags over here. Otherwise, what will happen? These numbers, number of bags, cost bag, this total cement cost, these will never get, attached to this object. Because here you are overriding. Number of bags will always be assumed to be 400, cost of bags will be assumed to be 1300. Rather, you should pass these values lower when you are creating this. So I'll be making certain corrections to your code. So what I will do, rather I'll make these statements comment, and you should not pass the total cement cost. This would be calculated actually. You simply need to multiply number of bags with cost of the bag. So you should simply write self dot number of bags is equal to number of bags, and self dot cost bag is equal to cost bag. And similarly, you need to delete this thing also. I'll make these things comment, and